Hello friends, I am Rajesh Singh from PGDM batch of MYRA School of Business. Today we are going to talk to Vasanthika Srinath, who has taught us business law course. Let's talk to her about her experience in MYRA School of Business.
Hello everybody.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, my first question towards you is, how has been your experience at MYRA?
It has been a very interesting experience, I must say. I have never taught business students before. I have had a prior experience of teaching law to students of chartered accountancy and company secretarial courses, but never interacted with students of business. And the kind of responses you get is from business students is very different, because they have a complete, they need to get a 360-degree view of business and not look at things as a lawyer or an accountant would. So this is a very interesting and a very different experience, and I am really enjoying it.
Okay, well, ma'am. So, ma'am, please tell our viewers more about the course Business Law.
So the reason we believe business laws is important for business students is that the students of business are going to be the managers for tomorrow or the entrepreneurs for tomorrow, and they need to know which law will impact them, their business, in which manner. You can depend on external lawyers, but you need to know at which stage you need to ask a lawyer. You may not realize that something requires legal insight or inputs, which is why basic knowledge of concepts of key laws and an understanding of how to read legal documents is a very valuable weapon for any business manager or a business head. With my experience of having worked in the industry, I have observed, it's my observation, that the best CEOs have a very uncanny knack of catching, maybe loopholes in contracts, or picking up some legal document and coming up with very interesting insights, which they are able to, because they understand the business, they have a vision for the business, and they also have the ability to understand law and read a legal document. So this is a combination that is required in order to be able to lead a business and build it really well. And that is what this course is aiming to do, and help students understand key concepts. And you don't need to remember a section, your lawyer will do that for you. You don't need to know what is the exact definition under a particular act. You need to know, what impacts you at what stage and how you can, de-risk if there is a risk. So that is what this course is aiming at equipping students with.
So, ma'am, basically during these 2 weeks of course which you have already taught, how have the students responded to this course?
Typically students find the law very dull and dry and boring. So I tried not to focus on section numbers, and instead try to make it more relevant, and I found that students were very participative, much more than I expected. I was expecting a complete one-way delivery and a one-way lecture. Fortunately it was not like that, and it was actually very pleasant. There were a lot of interactions in the classroom, and even after class there were so many questions and concerns to be discussed, which was actually very interesting. It was very
yeah, well, that I have also experienced, ma'am, because while giving the presentation, the topics as it was distributed to the students, we all have learned a lot from that. The way it was approached towards the course, we all have learned really a lot.
I'm glad you say so. And the very intent was, that if it was a one-way delivery for complete 10 days, would have not left the students with any knowledge that they will take away. The hope is that students will remember what they are learning and be able to apply it when they actually need to apply it in the real life scenarios. And if I succeed in doing even a little bit of that, I would say my goal is achieved.
Well, ma'am, with my personal experience, I can assure you that it was not just we were having lectures. We have actually learned the application how to do that while giving that presentation, explaining to our batchmates.
I'm glad.
So that has given a real life experience to us how actually law works.
I'm glad you said so.
Well, ma'am, what do you think about the batch profile and the curriculum and the academic model that we follow in MYRA?
Yeah, batch profile is a reasonable good mix. So you have BBM students, you have BCom students, and then you are a mathematician. And we have a lot of engineering students, and in engineering also I think we have an instrumentation and control engineer to a couple of computer science, and so it's a that is what actually makes an interactive program more beneficial, because people come with a varied knowledge body which you are able to share, so you get more perspectives to learn from. And I think it enhances your learning experience.
Yeah, exactly.
And the interactive, the immersive system that we are following is also very interesting. I have not come across this system being followed by any other institute before this. And what I find is that when you are removed from the worries of having to prepare for another subject, you are able to focus, and everything that you do for that period, you eat, you sleep, you talk, you are discussing that particular subject, and you are seeing everything in light of your learnings. So I think it also helps you correlate with the subject that you are trying to learn, and it definitely will be more beneficial in the result that it's finally producing.
Yeah, it is exactly like that what you said, ma'am. Within those 2 weeks of period, we actually live in the world of the subject which we are going through, whether it is business law, corporate finance, or advanced corporate finance. Or over those two weeks of period, actually we live in the world of that itself.
True, true. That is the intent of the immersive method, and I think it's showing its results.
As being an MBA student, most of the learning comes from peer learning as well.
True.
So as we are having a mix of all the things, we are having lots of learning outside the classroom as well.
True. True.
Well, ma'am, can you just exploit a little bit more about the Indian judicial system?
The Indian judicial system, unfortunately, does not have a very favorable, does not seem to have cut a very favorable impression on a lot of people. People think, you hear film dialogues of Tariq pe Tariq, kind of system, but we should also appreciate it and look at it from the angle that, India is such a huge country. We have a huge population, and obviously, everything is going to be burdened with number of people, and the number of people that are manning the judiciary is a very limited number of resources. So given that, I think despite that we have a very good legal system and a very good judiciary. Yes, to an extent there is some amount of corruption, but that is not what I would say, that does not override, and that should not, that is not the standard. That is especially when you go to the High Courts and the Supreme Court, we have luminaries, around the place. So I think the judicial system is also going through a lot of upheaval. Some years back, they tried to modify the Civil Procedure Code in order to ensure that we can expedite delivery of justice. Judges are very aware and very conscious of the fact that justice delayed is justice denied. So there is an effort to expedite the delivery of justice and to improve it. So over a period of time, I'm sure we are only going to get better.
Well, coming to my last but not the least question, ma'am, few takeaways for our students.
Yeah. While I've had a lot of takeaways finally, and a lot of learnings which I will not forget, and which will perhaps help me in delivery of classes and improve my next batches that I'm going to be teaching. But very important thing is that this learning is interactive. It is not about just sitting, and it's not a one-way traffic. So when you are learning in the classroom and you are participating, participation improves and enhances your learning. Similarly, outside the classroom, it's important to, you know, team up with people. In the real life, you cannot even choose the people you want to work with. You know, your company will assign a team, or you and your customer may have to work together, and you cannot say, I can't work with someone. You have to learn to work with everybody. And the only way you can win is by trying to create a win-win situation. And everybody should try and make the best out of that. The fact that, you know, you have such a varied set of people in the classroom, learn to work with everybody and try to create teams which, you know, you may not feel comfortable about, but, you know, learn to get over it and improve your learning. And that's how you will also improve in team you know, activities. And another thing is, I see you have a great faculty lineup. You have luminaries, you know, with, from various, from excellent institutes all over the world. And in the immersive system, we have very limited time. They are not going to be here throughout the year.
Exactly.
They come for a limited period. And I think the students should appreciate that and make the best of that time, you know, available with these people, and try and, you know, maximize your learnings and your gains, because that's what is going to hold you for a lifetime of your in your career and you know, in the future. So that's.
Well, it was really a pleasure talking to you, ma'am. Thank you for the insights that you had given me. Hope to learn more law from you.
Thanks, Rajesh, and thanks everybody for listening to this video. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.